Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of your favorite Ravens YouTube channel and podcast, Talking Ravens all day, every day, with your host, Justin P. And with my MVP, $1 billion co-host, the lovely Miss Shannon Finch. Dave had to work today, so he couldn't make it, but he sends his love and regards. Hopefully next week he'll be on here with us. We can have our trio back together. This is
Mm-hmm.
episode 139 for the YouTube channel. And for the audio version of season 2, episode 9, the links for the audio version are right there below in the description for those who can't watch live. If you're busy working on the way home and really can't, watch, real time, you can listen to it to the audio version and stay in tune. And underneath is myself, Shannon, and David's social media platforms that we're on. Like I said, I have everything right now. Shannon, Facebook, Twitter, IG, David, Facebook, and IG. Like I said, if it's anything I feel like we're not talking about, in your mindset, hit any of us up, and we'll include it in our show. Like I said, Tuesday or Thursday, we'll squeeze it in there. We love feedback from our viewers and subscribers. Oh, today is the preview. It's still a week, y'all. It's still a week.
Mm-hmm.
So y'all know how we start off every show. Our coaching matchups. This is a good one. Two guys, two of the longest tenured coaches in the league right now. Both of them are
Mm-hmm.
Super Bowl champions. Both of them have had winning seasons. John Harbaugh only had two losing seasons. Mike Tomlin none so far, but he's been under 500 a few times. So who has the edge heading into this great rivalry matchup? Mike Tomlin or John Harbaugh? Floor is yours, Shannon.
Um, so I kind of was going back and forth with this today. But I settled on it being a tie. And let me explain why. I think an argument can be made for both coaches as far as why they're good or great. I also feel like both fan bases have a time where they're wanting the head coach fired to let you know that they're not perfect. Now, when you look at both of their careers, they're kind of similar but yet different. Mike Tomlin, I feel like he came into a great situation. The Steelers had just won a Super Bowl maybe like 2 years before he came in.
Yeah,
He took them back to the Super Bowl two times after that. He won one time. He's also had a core of players where they were like the best offense in the league at a point when he had the killer bees. Like you could legit make that argument that they were the best. They didn't amount to much, but they had a lot of stats. But that was all under Tomlin's watch. And in recent years, they haven't had a whole lot of playoff success. So like right now, when you talk to Steelers fans, all they want to do is just win a playoff game. Like it used to be Super Bowl this, Super Bowl that. Now they just like let's just win a playoff game and have that under our belt instead of just saying we don't have any losing seasons. When you look at John Harbaugh, he came into a situation where he had Hall of Fame players, but they didn't have consistent success as a team, as a collective, and that changed after 2008. He had Hall of Fame players. He had a Super Bowl MVP. He had to deal with those guys leaving, new guys coming in, starting all over again, and still found a way to have success. As I mentioned, both guys won a Super Bowl. Tomlin's been twice. John Harbaugh has been Coach of the Year. I think that Tomlin is a better coach than John Harbaugh in situational football, like in games and different things that he's able to do, even to trick opponents. Like we've seen it. I think John Harbaugh is better with handling the temperament of his players. But overall, I think both guys are great coaches, and they both have their flaws. They're both great leaders of men. So I'm just going to call it a tie.
Shannon, that's hard. It's gonna be hard to top that because you said everything across the T. So I'm gonna say it ties well. Like you said, both coaches, both of them inherited pretty solid football teams. Just Pittsburgh had a little bit more, like you said, consistency. Us, we will have a good year here and there with Brian Billick and here and there. Like Harbaugh took over a team that was removed from 13-3, but they
Hmm.
got the first playoff game. So like I said, both of them inherited pretty good football teams. Like you said, they both been successful. Both won the Super Bowl. Tomlin got the one extra one. But like you said, John Harbaugh's won Coach of the Year and been nominated for another one last year. So you I definitely got called it a tie. So both
Hmm.
coaches like a split. Like I said, Tomlin's better in certain aspects because he's actually coached on certain stuff. Like he's a defensive mastermind. Like he get his
Hmm.
hands. defense. Harbaugh more special team good. But like you said, Harbaugh, handles his players' attitudes a little better than Tom. That even every year they got disgruntled receiver. Even he was even talks to Joe Pickens, even Greg get rolled about it. But I guess once Russell Wilson came in the fold, all that, simmered down.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, this video is a landslide in my opinion. The quarterbacks, Russell Wilson, Super Bowl champion against the possible three-time MVP Lamar Jackson. What that?
Oh, it's definitely Lamar. And I love Russell Wilson. Been a fan since he was a rookie. I want him to do well, just not against the Ravens.
Yeah, it's Lamar. Perfect. Yeah, not even close. Like I said, possible third MVP. Russell Wilson, Super Bowl champion. But yeah, it's definitely Lamar because he's playing out his mind right
Mm-hmm.
now. All right. Running back, you got Najee Harris, Jalen Hurts, Derrick Henry, Keaton Mitchell, Justice Hill. Who has the edge? Who has the edge? Who's the edge?
I'm going Ravens. I mean, like I say every week, when you have Derrick Henry in your backfield, it's going to set you above a lot of different groups. I think Najee's been playing really well this year. He's been solid for the Steelers, but I'm still going Ravens. And when you add the Keaton Mitchell, like he might be a little bit more involved this week as they try to bring him along. Like I kind of like. Well, I do. I like our core better than theirs.
I'm going Ravens as well because like I said Derrick Henry, him alone, man, he's probably got more rushing yards than the whole entire Steelers backfield. Najee is doing better, but then you sprinkle in Keaton Mitchell and Justice Hill, and then Rasheen Ali. Ali is out. Like Jalen Moore has been a good complementary back to Najee Harris, but gotta go with it.
Mm-hmm.
Wide receivers and tight ends. Pickens, Van Jefferson, Calvin Austin the third, Roman Wilson. I think he's a little hurt. Pat Frymouth down in Washington for us. Zay Flowers, Bateman, Aguilar. Now Diontae Johnson, who we'll talk about a little bit later in the show. Three tight ends, Andrews, likely Kolar. Where's the age?
Probably for the first time ever against the Steelers, I'm saying the Ravens.
Yeah.
I like our core a little bit better. Well, a whole lot better.
I'm gonna go Ravens as well. George Pickens is a dog, but like I say, he can tend to, you know, take himself out of games with his emotions and stuff like that. A couple targets not coming his way. So he gives lackluster athletes. Well, Zay, he's going to play hard, whether he has 10 catches or two. And
Mm-hmm.
he got more plus up weapons to spread the ball around. So I'm definitely going to give it to the Ravens by a slight edge.
Yep, me too.
Offensive lines. Ooh, this is going on. Steelers lines. They've been beat up. Ravens. You got Rodney Stanley, Patrick McCarthy filling for Andrew Voorhees, Tyler Lindenball. You got Daniel Fahalehe, and you got Rosen Rosengarten. And then for the Steelers depth chart, I'm just pulling it up here now. Give me a second. You got Dan Moore, Isaac Simialo from Philly, you got from Philly. Zach Frazier, West Virginia, he's a pretty good player. Mason McCormick, and Broderick Jones from Tennessee. Who has the edge in the offensive line?
I'm going Ravens. For what you said, I know the Steelers have been banged up this year, but I'm going to go Ravens.
Yeah, their first round pick, Troy Fontenot, out. Yeah, I'm
Mm-hmm.
gonna go edge to us as well because Derrick Henry can't break 11 tackles every single play. So it has to be some type of blocking up front. Lamar can't do what he's doing if he don't have time to throw the ball. So
Mm-hmm.
it's like some Steelers fans gonna probably call us homeless. That's fine.
Mm. It's the truth.
Yeah, that's fine. That's cool. Um, Now defense, they both run a 3-4, so we can keep it regular. So interior D line for the Steelers, you got Cam Hayward, Keanu Benton, Larry Ogunjobi. You got Dean Lowry and Isaiah Loudermilk. Ravens, you'll beat up right now. You got Broderick Washington, Travis Jones, Nam D Meta Beak, Chris Wormley, Josh Tutupi. I still can't believe that. So who has the edge in the interior?
Um, I won't. I'll call it a tie. I won't say anybody has the edge in that sense. Because I respect the Steelers defensive line, but I do feel like the Ravens are capable as well. Like I said, you don't lead the league or be top, what are they, top four, top five and sacks and hurries and things like that if you're not going to contribute it to your defensive line because it starts up front as well. So I'll just call it a tie.
I'm gonna go slight edge with us because, like you said, we stopped the run a lot better than them, and we're top three in sacks. All right, linebackers, outside linebackers, and the off-ball linebacker. Like I said, we both play 3-4. We have T.J. Watt, former defensive player of the year. Patrick Derry Queen, former Raven, now Steeler. Elaine Robin,
Mm-mm-mm.
Smith. Hey, Peyton Willis, Alex Highsmith, who's hurt, and then Nick Hartbreak. Ravens, you have Cal Van Noy, Daffy Owe, Tavius Robinson, David Ojabo, Malik Harrison plays both, Roquan Smith, Trenton Simpson. Who has the edge, right? And Adisa Isaac, who has the edge in the linebacker department?
This was this is a little tough too because I can make an argument for both sides. Um, but I'm going to give this slight edge to the Steelers because I do feel like Watt, he's just a game changer, a game wrecker. Um, and I don't think that we have a linebacker that even compares to what he can do and how he can change a game. So I'm going to give that to the Steelers.
Same thing, because he single-handedly won football games for them. Like,
Yeah.
single-handedly. Like, so it's like, that's how you got to be dominant. And we got some good guys, but we don't got guys that's, like, dominant, like him and
Yeah.
Matt Bosa, Miles Garrett, Mike Paulson. Those guys are tier one. We all guys are like
Mm-hmm.
tier three-ish. So definitely slight edge to the Steelers because of TJ Watt. The secondary, you got Joey Porter Jr., C.J. Henderson, former first-round pick of the Jacksonville Jaguars, Florida, Minka Fitzpatrick, Cameron Sutton, Lil Boosie's cousin, Deshaun, talk too much, Joker Elliott, DeMonte KZ, former Falcon, Diontae Jackson, former Panther, James Pierre, and you got Benny Bishop. And for the Ravens, I don't know who we got, but I just want to see how they got this depth chart in order. 1 second. All right. Al Hamilton, Marcus Williams, Nate Wiggins, Marlon Humphrey, Brandon Stevens, Tredavious White, Adarius Washington, Eddie Jackson, Jalen Norman Davis, TJ Tampa, Arthur Millette. Who has the edge in the secondary?
Um, when you hear names like that, just names alone, it'll make you want to probably pick one side over the other. But until the Ravens show me better back there, I won't be picking them over a whole lot of groups. So I'm going Steelers because our secondary got some work to do. And it's not everybody. We talked about that yesterday, like guys that are showing up and contributing and who I think is a liability back there is back there. But I'm going Steelers. I just right now we can't trust the DBs to keep us in a game.
Yeah, definitely about the guy go. I'm gonna get a slight edge to Pittsburgh, like you said, because we got more talent back there, but it's just by us having a new DC and a bunch of new position coaching defenses kind of hindering a lot of things. Pittsburgh still got Terrell Austin again, who they're number 2 ranked in defense right now. So by that,
Mm-hmm.
I got a slight edge to Pittsburgh. Special teams. We'll start with Pittsburgh. Kicker Chris Boswell was really good. Punter Corliss Waitman. Punt returner, they got Kelvin Austin III. And then kick return Cordero Patterson, former Falcon. And long snapper Christian Kuntz. That's how he said it. Kuntz. That's a weird last name. Ravens, Jordan Stout, Justin Tucker, Tylen Wallace, Nick Moore. Who has the edge?
I'm going Steelers. I mean, if you watch their games, if you catch any of their games, and you'll see how great and impactful their special teams are. I mean, with block kicks, that alone will win you games. And just how they perform for their special teams coach, like that they love that guy.
Yeah,
When you got guys that go out there and play for you like that, I mean you're doing a great job as a coach. So I'm giving it to the Steelers. Ravens got some work to do, and we're normally a good special teams, but this season we ain't all that.
yeah, and that's your head coach's specialty. But yeah, the Steelers special team coach is amazing. They running fake punts and fake this. Even though they missed it, was wide open, but they making a lot of plays. They made a play Sunday. Got to go cover the fumbles. Definitely Steelers. I ain't gonna waste a lot of time on them.
Hmm.
All right, for our very first topic, we giving y'all some lengthy shows since we missed out on the week. See how we look out for y'all. Um, I got my numbers a little wrong. I wasn't too far off, but the Ravens have beaten the Steelers have beaten the Ravens the last 7 out of 10. I had 8 out of 11, so I was off a game on each end.
Hmm.
So Steelers have beaten the Ravens 7 out of the last 10 times. Last 7 of the last 10 meetings. Is it pivotal for the Ravens to win on Sunday to prove that they can hang with the Steelers? Little short shot.
I wouldn't say it's pivotal because it's not going to change anything. Losing this game doesn't mean we're out of the playoffs or won't make the playoffs. So it's not pivotal in a sense of what the word pivotal means. Um, would it be nice to win? Absolutely. But I like to put things in context. So when we talk about these last however many matchups it's been, you first got to ask yourself how many did Lamar play in?
True.
When I went to go pick my daughter up, I think
He
I
only
heard he's
played
only played
6 from what I'm T2 and 4 from what I've saw.
right, and so I heard 1 and 3 on the radio today, like it was 4. So I don't know. I don't even
It
know.
might
But
no, you're right. You're right. It is 1 and 3. It's definitely 1 and 3 because the only time he yeah because he beat him 19 in 2021. He only played one time. In 2022 he ain't played neither Steeler game. Yeah, you're right. No, that's about right. So 1 and 3.
so Lamar not playing is something you gotta consider. The last game we played them last season, it didn't matter to us. We had already locked up the number 1 seed, so guys weren't even playing. We didn't care. Like you know what I mean? Like you play to win, but I don't think it mattered. That's why we won or lost that game. Um, and the first matchup last season, it could have been a different outcome if we didn't have all those drops. Like that was a game with that we couldn't believe the amount of drops they had that game. Like that was crazy. So for me, it's not pivotal. And I don't think it's a matter of us needing to show or prove that we can hang with the Steelers because we've done that already. Like I think that was proven. It's been proven since 2008 when John Harbaugh walked through the door. Like you look at our history when they've had contending teams, when we've been contending, they're trying to figure it out. We trying to figure. Doesn't matter. Like we can hang with them. On the radio today, they just said the last few matchups was 7 points or less, and then they also counted how many times it was 3 points or less. So it's not a matter of neither one of us needing to show we can hang with the other. It's just a matter of who won't go out there and handle business that day. But from my perspective, I gotta put everything into context. We haven't always had our quarterback. We played you last year, and it didn't matter to us the last season. And then we had a bunch of damn drops in the first game, so that could have been that was Lamar's best performance against the Steelers. And look what happened. So this year we're playing a lot cleaner, and I expect a different outcome. So again, I don't think it's pivotal, but only because I feel like context matters. Like it doesn't change anything, and it's not like they're just smoking us every time we play them.
That was perfectly said, Chad. I don't say so myself. I say yes, not pivotal, but yes, they need to win because from a psychological aspect, because you don't want you like you said overall. Yes, we are competing with the Steelers, but I'm also talking more, in the Lamar Jackson era. I should have said that, but no problem. I'll put that disclaimer in there. And so it's like if you say it's 1 and 3 against him, like you said, and he missed some games, and rightfully so. A lot of people don't care. They like, hey,
Hmm.
you play you out there. So I say yes, because for one, it's for to get a nice 4 game lead in the division because you at least want one home game. So yeah, and what better way to do it than the road? So I said I'm gonna say it's pivotal, but yeah, we definitely should win the game from a psychological and a confidence standpoint.
Hmm.
All right. Second topic. Do you think Mike Tomlins' comments about Diontae Johnson will light a fire under him for this game?
um, I think it's possible, and it will. I mean, most guys are already amped up to play against their former teams. But I don't see it being a situation where he's going to be force fed. And I actually think that it would be a bad idea if we went into this game trying to do that. Don't get cute, but get him involved within the flow of the game. But yeah, I think he's going to be highly motivated to play well. It's just a matter of getting him the ball.
Yeah, I think it's definitely going to have a chip on his shoulder. I don't think Mike Tomlins been disrespectful, but he was telling the truth. He said he more worried about guys. Basically, he was saying worried about guys. So it's more of a fact that have been here and have
Hmm.
been, you know, contributing. He's only been here a week, literally a week. So,
Hmm.
you know, and I think for sure, I think Lamar, I don't think he'll force feed him, but I think Lamar gonna set him up with so he can get nice opportunities to make some plays against his former team. Because he probably had this circled on his calendar as soon as he got traded here. So I
Oh
think
yeah,
so. So if you see a pretty decent game out of him, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised at all. So like I said, because he said in motivation, all motivation is good motivation. Whether somebody says something good or bad, it makes you like, okay, cool. If they say something bad, prove them wrong. Say something right, you gotta keep proving them right. Like, yeah, this is why I said that about me. So
hmm
I could possibly see him having a pretty solid, decent game. All right, next one. All right, and of course, my usual. How would Todd Monken attack the Steelers' vaunted defense?
I think the Steelers will look to stop the run, which will probably impact us early with what we can do. So it wouldn't shock me if Todd Monken came out the gate, in his passing bag early and often. Make the Steelers defense have to respect the passing game because some teams until they play Lamar this year, their mindset probably is let's make them one dimensional, let's make them have to pass. But Lamar is making teams, pay when they're put in that position. So if we get in our bag early and we're having success passing the ball, then they're going to have to respect the pass, which then will open up things for the run game, which then can make us be a more balanced offense. So I think that having a fast start should be the mindset against this defense.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely. For one, make sure T.J. Watt and Cam Hayward are accounted for because those two always give us problems and be a large part of the reason why we keep losing them. Them two will make a game changing play at the end of the game. And, this time we can't do that. You know,
Hmm.
lock them guys. Have Pat Ricard. Pat Ricard, this should be the most action Pat Ricard seen all year. All year. TJ Watt, go get a Gatorade. Pat Ricard need to be handling it right. Seriously. Like seriously, because Lamar's health depends on this. All if TJ Watt coming blindside, Lamar, like I said, nah. Pat Ricard and Derrick Henry and the tight ends all need to get a piece of 90.
Hmm.
Because fourth quarter, he shouldn't even be rushing hard because he didn't got beaten in the wrong game. Spread the ball around like we've been doing. Keep Mitchell involved in the screen game and the outside zone run because that speed gonna come. And like I said, and get the king north and south. If we only getting them dirty runs, like two,
Hmm.
3 yards, stay with it because eventually they're gonna pop. Against a good defense, you're not gonna just run the ball and rip off 10, 15 yards. It's just it
Hmm.
won't work. It's a good sound defense. Just stay patient with it, you know, and the way we can keep the balance attack going. And like I said, get your matchups with Zay Flowers and guys and the tight ends. Move Andrews and Likely around. Don't throw the ball to Justice Hill coming off the backfield. Run your read options with Lamar and stuff like that. So way they won't just come up field like they're gonna blitz now. Lamar keeps it and go on the corner for 12 yards. And then they're gonna think twice.
Hmm.
Uh, get Diontae Johnson involved now because now he should load a little bit more of the offense, and he knows some Steeler stuff, so he going sure he's sharing a few little wrinkles that we can use to our advantage. So yeah, and like I said, and don't be scared to take shots when they're available.
Hmm.
All right. How will Zach Orr slow down the Steelers offense led by Russell Wilson?
Again, I think that we'll look to stop the run. That's our strong suit defensively. Don't have Brandon Stevens out on the island with George Pickens. Like, please don't. Keep a body on that tight end. Like, we get worked by tight ends in the middle of the field all season.
Pack and play.
Again, I got him in fantasy, and I think Russell Wilson presents an opportunity to get turnovers. Not because he's reckless or anything like that, but I just feel like at certain times when I watch him, particularly on the Steelers, it's like he's just throwing it up there and Pickens is just making a play. So if our DBs can be more aware, I think they'll have an opportunity to get some turnovers. So I think that the mindset is going to be stop the run, make that non-existent. Obviously, make them one-dimensional. This ain't been working out for us making the team one-dimensional, but make them one-dimensional. Cover the tight end and Pickens, and just try to keep everything in front of you. Like I can't. Like I don't even know what to say about the defense no more because it's the passing part that doesn't give me confidence. So I don't know what they're gonna do, but I assume I know they're gonna stop the run. I tell you that, or they're gonna try to stop the run.
Yeah, definitely you gotta get off the bus stop and run because you gotta earn the right to rush the passer. It's just that simple.
Mm-hmm.
So Najee, like I said, he's been doing good, and Jalen Warren too. So we definitely gotta take them away. Oh, rushers, please be disciplined. Don't open pursuit because Russell can move. He can
Mm-hmm.
buy it, he can get past you, be slippery. So we definitely gotta be disciplined in our rush line and get our hands up because he's only 5'10", 5'11". So if you can't get there, nothing else, back the ball. That leads to interceptions and other opportunities.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably just as good as a sack if you can't get there. Deflect the ball so we can create a turnovers. Yeah, Brandon Stevens needs to be moved down the depth chart. I ain't saying bench, he definitely don't need to be starting. Let him guard the guys third and fourth receiver, or let him guard one of them tight ends. But Nick has to start at this point because the numbers just show him and Marlon it's been locking down. So it's like, why not go with that combination? Like, you know,
Mm-hmm.
I get he's working on, but he's playing better than all your veterans except for one. So go with them two, like Tredavious White slide in there. Like I said, still put them on the field, just utilize them different. Let them guard as tight ends, both receive
Mm-hmm.
a little bit of safety or something. Let him, he don't need to be the starting outside corner. Sorry. And
He
like I
probably losing money too.
yeah, I really don't give a shit. He'll be all right, And blitz guys like Darius Washington and Cal Hamilton if he's a full goal. Be creative. Like that's my only difference between him and McDonald. McDonald was creative. Cal Hamilton had like 7 sacks last year. Like, come on, add that. Send Marlon Humphrey, send Nate, send them guys. Like, be creative. Do some stunts on the D line, confuse the O line. Show like you blitz him and then dropping everybody back. Give different luck. Don't just throw guys out there. Hey, we're going to cover one, cover two, running. Coordinators and quarterbacks are too good. They know how to pick apart basic design coverages. Be exotic, show stuff. Drop a defensive tackle somewhere somebody ain't expect them to be. You know what I mean? Stuff
Mm-hmm.
the outside linebacker underneath a route that they expect me. Just defense is organized chaos. That's what you're supposed to do. Have Russell Wilson Brown sometime. I was like, damn, I don't know where the hell they coming from. But yeah, but just like be creative and just mix it up. And definitely Brandon Stevens, he needs to be like I said, like the third of like the fourth corner basically. All right. Our next topic. After seeing how Jamar Chase torched the Ravens secondary in both games this season, in your opinion, who should cover George Pickens?
I said it when we played against Jamal Chase. Like I don't feel like it should be a one person. Like if you tell me it has to be one person, I would say Marlon Humphrey because why not put your best against their best, right? But I just feel like some of these guys are just too great, and sometimes you do need to have a little help on over, a little help on the back, coverage over the top, things like that. So for me, if you're not going to put Marlon Humphrey on him all day and shadow him, then it's going to take 2 to 3 guys to take him out of the game. And for me, just don't give up any big plays. Like you can't have Brandon Stevens chasing the best wide receiver around on the other team. Like it just doesn't make sense. So for me, it's going to be a team effort. Either you're going to put Marlon on him and make that Marlon's job all day long, or it's going to be a collective effort, and they need to try to limit the big plays because that's where George Pickens really be killing people.
Well said. And like I said, if I do see him on him more than like a play or two, I mean, Brandon Stevens, because sometimes, like I
Mm-hmm.
said, depending on how they move around, Mike got to go with that. If I see him on him more than 3 times, just go ahead. And I know you love Zach Orr, but at some point, you can only defend incompetence for so long. If that keeps happening, go ahead and let him know, look, man, we're going to promote Chuck Smith or somebody. You going to go coach the linebackers again.
If what happens, if Brandon Stevens ends up on,
You continuously be on George Pickens this game. I'm talking like 90%. Yeah, at some point you got to go ahead and scrap it. You know, because it's like it's like that's just coaching malpractice at this point. But I think it should definitely be Marlon Humphrey because he loves to travel, move around, slot, whatever. He loves it. He's done it several times before. So, his best games because people came when he traveled and locked guys down. So, like you said, he's going to make George Pickens work for everything. Only time he got beat by George Pickens when he was coming off an injury, fresh off an injury. And he said he misjudged AF. So, he held himself responsible. He said, I misjudged about it and think
that
Kenny
was
Pickett.
the game with all the drops, right?
Absolutely. He would say, I didn't think Kenny Pickett was going to put it out there. He held himself responsible for it. And now he's fully healthy and he's playing his best ball again. So definitely Marlon Humphrey. I mean, if you put Nate on him too, because Nate got the speed and the height, you still share the old. But like I said, Brandon Stevens, if he is out there, he need to have two safeties behind him. Just like I said, if he out there more than a few times on him, say, I love you, shorty. I want you to succeed because you're a young black man, but I'm trying to win a Super Bowl. It's not a
Well, and for me, it just depends on what happens on a play. Because if it looks like he's on him, but then it also looks like somebody not where they supposed to be at, I don't know that that's exactly a problem. But we'll have to just see how it play out.
For sure, but yeah,
Because a lot of them guys don't be where they supposed to be at.
Yeah, and that's why I asked you that too yesterday. Was it it's just some type of disconnect there? Because it's the same secondary minus Ronald Darby and Gino, and them two weren't starters. So all your starters are still there. Like I'm trying to figure out what's
I
going on.
told you I heard that it's an issue with the pass game coordinator. Like I heard that was an issue.
Yeah, you got a guy coaching DBs that look like they play tennis, but anyway, anyway. All right, Tredavious White is now active and will be playing Sunday. What do you think his role will be, in your opinion?
I think he'll be rotational. I don't think they're gonna just throw him out there and say, "Here, you're gonna, be our number one or number two." But I think that if he does show promise, that we'll probably see less and less of Brandon Stevens. And that's just the way it goes. I mean, if you don't play well and somebody is playing better than you 9 times out of 10, you're going to start moving down the depth chart. Then you'll be the rotational player. So I don't think they're just going to throw him in a fire, but I think he'll be utilized, especially if we start seeing the same old bad habits from that secondary.
Yeah, I think he'll be rotating into eventually. I think he'll be that second or third corner. Me personally, I want Brandon Stevens to street clothes. Me personally, I'd rather go with Marlon Humphrey, Nate, Trey White, Millette, or Darius Washington because he can play some nickel and safety, so you're getting 2 for 1. And and TJ Tampa when he get ready. That's it. Yeah, him and Jalen Alma Davis need to be on the sideline playing rock paper scissors with each other.
Stupid.
Seriously, I'm just fed up, bro. But yeah, I think he'll rotate and I think he'll play pretty well because Trey Pete will get it twisted. Trey White, 2-time first team All Pro. Trey, it's part of the game. That's not, this kid ain't forget how to play corner.
Mm-hmm.
All right. 1 second. All right, give me your top 5 most memorable Ravens Steelers moment. It could be game, pregame, whatever.
Obviously Mike Tomlin coming on the field, trying to stop Jacoby Jones, rest in peace. That was probably
That was on
the
Christmas.
funniest thing. Yeah, that was the funniest thing I ever seen in a game. Haloti breaking Big Ben nose, like, and the crazy part about it is that didn't stop that big crazy son of a gun. Like, you know what I mean? Like that's how those battles used to be. But him breaking his nose was pretty funny. Um, Beating them in the playoffs in 2014 was that the year?
Yeah,
Because we beat them without a lot of guys that we were used to having, So we did something that we couldn't do for a while with a lot of Hall of Fame players. That wasn't even a year that we had a defense that was that great, particularly in the secondary, but we went up there and beat them handily. So that was always a great moment for me. The regular season game against them in 2011, just based on how things ended the season before when we lost to them in the playoffs in 2010. So to come back on the road, Pittsburgh had to go that long, with like 90 over almost 90 something yards.
Ron Clark for the game winner. Yeah.
That was a great moment. And lastly, any game that we play against them on 9/11. Like I don't know what it is. When we play them on 9/11 in Baltimore, like we blow them out.
Oh,
It's
you
been
took
two
35,
times
35-7 game, yeah.
that, and we
Second,
played them again on 9/11. We beat them like 20 something. They had like 6 or something like that. So that's why I say any game on 9/11 in Baltimore. But that's my top 5.
for sure. I'm gonna go with me. I'm gonna go with 2003. We beat them the second time when Jamal Lewis got 2,000 yards. That was real big, ended the Steelers' playoff chances. I'm gonna go 2006. Both games in 2006. First one we shut them out 27-0. Scott came and knocked the devil out Big Ben. Second game
That
went
was
up.
the hardest hit he ever had.
Second game up there beat them 34-0. Just stomped them both games. That's the first time ever we swept them and stomped them bad. Ray Lewis, he hit Rashad Mendenhall, man, and put him out for the year in 2008. Even though they won the game in overtime with the San Antonio home catch, he made Rashad Mendenhall play for the end of it. It was a rookie year, made him end of this season. 2011, like you said, the Torrey Smith catch, he beat Ryan Clark and Ike Taylor, and then that 35-7 game, they smacked them on 9/11. And then the 2014 playoff, that was our first postseason win against Pittsburgh in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
They were like 3-0 against us in the playoffs, if I'm not mistaken, 3-0, 2-0, and we finally beat them in the postseason. So that right there, my top 5. All right, and near the end, did pretty good for time. All right, we're gonna go with the over under stat line. Let me know when you're ready, Sean.
I'm ready. I'm just putting up my iPad.
Okay. Lamar Jackson, we're gonna go 275 yards total, passing and rushing.
I actually have him at 275. 230 passing, 45. Excuse me, 45 rushing.
I'm gonna go a little over 300, give him 260 in the air, 40 on the ground. Derrick Henry, 90 yards rushing over.
I'll say under. I'll say 80.
I'm gonna go with 102. If he get the carries, 102. Tough 100-yard one game. Zay Flowers, 50 yards receiving over under.
You said 50.
Yep, like 50 cents.
I'll say over and say 65.
I'm gonna go over and go 75. So I think he's gonna come with it since he had a so-so game last week. All right, Rashad Bateman, 45 yards over.
I'll say under and say 40.
I'm gonna go slightly over and go 60. All right, Isaiah Likely, Mark Andrews, combined yards. Let's go 120 over under.
I'm gonna say under. I'll say Mark Andrews 50, Likely 40.
I'm gonna go under as well. I'm gonna go 160 for Mark Andrews, 40 for Likely. Last one on offense, Diontae Johnson, 25 yards receiving over under.
I'll say over and I'll say 28.
I'm gonna go over and give him 40. He probably like 4 catches for first down or something. All right, now on defense, total team sacks. Let's go line at 2 over under.
I'll say over and say 3.
I'm gonna go 4. Total team interception on defense is Russell Wilson, so we'll go with 2 over under.
I'll say under and say 1.
I'm gonna go push right at 2. I think Marlon Getham is I think Nate get his first. All right, last one. Total combined tackles for Trenton Simpson and Roquan Smith. Let's go 18 over under.
I'll go over and say like 11 and 10.
I'm gonna go under with 16, 10 for Roquan, 6 for Trent. All right. Oh, 3 keys to victory. Go ahead, Shannon.
Um, a fact that I heard on the radio earlier was they were talking. Well, might have been on the radio or on Twitter. Either way, they were talking about um every matchup. Last couple of times we played the Steelers, the team that won the turnover battle won the game. So my first key to victory is win the turnover battle. Again, limit the big plays downfield. Russell Wilson have the Steelers playing better offensively than they did with Justin Fields. That's also because he's not scared to take chances to go down the field. And George Pickens, one thing he is good at doing is, making big plays down the field. Talk about 50-50 balls. He's getting majority of those 50-50 balls. So let's just limit those big plays downfield to not put them in a position to score and catch the ball. And when I say catch the ball, I'm talking about the wide receivers and tight ends and the DBs. We've had a lot of games this year with the DBs where the balls are literally in their hands. Like we probably could lead the league in interceptions as a team if guys really just caught the ball. And with the wide receivers, we can't have another episode of what happened last season. Like we were supposed to win that game. And when you talk about a collective failing a quarterback, they failed Lamar Jackson. So it's time to make it up for that last year, this year. Catch the ball.
Yeah. Mine's always the same. Protect the ball. Turn the football over. Score more touchdowns than field goals, which we've been doing. Like I said, it's gonna always be the same.
Mm-hmm.
All right, now the nitty gritty our score predictions.
When the week started, I felt one way about this game. And as the week is going on, I started getting a little bit more confident in the Ravens. Because I felt like when you look at every aspect of football teams as a whole, I feel like collectively the Steelers defense is playing better than the Ravens defense. Collectively, their special teams is playing better than the Ravens special teams. Our offense is playing better than their offense. And right now it's Thursday as we're doing this show. And all I could think about was our offense. Like we've literally been put in so many different positions this season. Being down, having to keep up with a team that's coming back. Um, a game that we probably could have lost and won. Like we've been in shootouts. No quit in this team. I've never had as much confidence in the offense, a Ravens offense, than I do with this team. So I feel like that's going to be the difference maker with our teams. So I'm going 30-24 Ravens.
I like it. I think it's gonna be a tight game as well. I am going to go Ravens 27-20 touchdown game. I think the defense will play a little better and a little bit more plays and get more stops. And our offense still have a pretty productive showing. So yeah, I'm gonna go 27-20 Ravens.
Mhm.
Well, everyone, that's it for tonight's show. So Shannon, anything you want to say to wrap it up?
Um, I asked this question earlier, like, does this rivalry still feel the same as it did like 10 plus years ago? And I think because it's the Steelers, it might feel that way for some people, but like for me, it doesn't have the same as it had before. And that doesn't mean I'm not excited for the game. That doesn't mean that I don't want to win the game, but it's just different. It's just different. I don't feel like these players have the same hatred that I felt like those Ravens teams and those Steelers teams had for each other. And even with guys like Patrick Queen going to the Steelers, like even in the offseason, I thought like, hey, this might help the rivalry. But like hearing him talk this week, he didn't want to leave the Ravens. His feelings were hurt. He was hurt that he couldn't get something done with the Ravens, and he went to the one place that he knew would really and like make us feel away. Not like the fans, but just the team in general.
Mm-hmm.
But I think this is a game where we have some new blood in this rivalry this season, and I feel like it might spark some things back up. We just talked about the defense, and this might be a game that they turn it around. You know, he and Zach Orr and Marlon Humphrey and even Roquan today, everybody talking about how they felt about the defense. Everybody is being accountable. I think this could be a game, like you say, where they figure it out. And what better team to figure it out against other than the Steelers? So I'm looking forward to seeing our defense on Sunday, even though I haven't had a lot of faith in them. But I think they might. This might be the turnaround of the season where they get a little bit better because I think they're finally disappointed with everything. Like the wins are not making them feel better. Some teams take it for what it is. I'm glad that they're not. I'm glad that they're not.
Yeah, because they know in January they can get you sent home
Yeah.
if you can't at least stop.
And you don't want to be the reason why a team doesn't win a Super Bowl. You know what I mean? Like you don't want to. You don't. Not a Ravens defense anyway.
Especially on that side of the ball, it hits different. Me, to piggyback off that, yeah, right, it don't have that same feel. I don't know. Like I said, maybe because you know you had back then you had strong alphas like on both sides, Don Ward, Joey Porter, James Harrison, Larry Foote. Now, now when he got those guys like us, we had Ray Suggs walking around with the mask on and talking shit to the fans. Nada, Ed Reed, like I said, you had different guys back then. Now you don't really have those guys doing that, So they
I
trying to.
told you I seen that. I saw them praying together after a game one time. I was like, oh, this is different. Not that it's not wrong with praying, but I was like, oh yeah, this is different.
Yeah, like you had Joey Porter and Ray Lewis get into, they're on the same side of the ball. Like that's how heated it was. They trying to get it back at Derrick Henry. Was like, man, see Patrick playing with stiff arm. Pat Ricard said on Rich Eisen show, you want to pancake him, So they trying their best, but it's like it's
It's
not.
different.
Yeah, and then a lot of people feel like because they've been beating us the last couple of games in time, regardless of situations, they still winning the games against us. People like they feel like it's one sided low key, bro. So maybe if we go out there and thump them on Sunday, that'll spark some stuff back into it. I'm just telling you what people told me. I don't feel that way, but just
Yeah,
so,
that's funny. That's why I said context matters when I talked about it
yeah,
being pivotal. Like, yeah, like
yeah,
who wants to lose to the Steelers? We would rather probably sweep them or split, right? Same thing they probably feel. But I don't know. Like, I don't even care. Like I said, I don't have the same emotion of losing to them as I would have 10 years ago because it's just different. When you without your quarterback in certain situations, it's like, well, we've been without a quarterback and still beat them. So it don't, like it's a different
yeah.
feel. But
Tyler Huntley actually got our last one against them up there in Pittsburgh.
yeah, but it should be a good game. I think it's gonna be a great day for football on Sunday, no doubt. You got
Like,
Ravens, Steelers, Chiefs, Bills, Bengals, Chargers. Like it's gonna be some great games.
no,
The Washington and Philly.
that's great. I'm great tuning into that soon, like in a couple minutes. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's gonna be a good week 11. But I mean that's it, everybody. Like I said, enjoy the game starting tonight, Thursday night, NBA. My Thunder's 10-2. We need to get our big guys back, But Jalen Williams is doing good. I know your Lakers. I mean, keep up with the record. The Lakers got to win every
We were
record.
like, yeah, we have on record. We like number 6 in the West right now. I
We're
think
like, can we get Lakers?
I know we lost 4 games, huh?
So if y'all probably like 7-4 or
I
something like
think
that.
we're 7-4. Yeah, because we all over 500.
2. So yeah, it's something. So it's yeah. So we get Lakers Thunder playoffs. Shane, no man, you going yacht? You know what I mean? You going yacht? We get Lakers Thunder playoffs.
Well, I'm here for it. I'm
Yeah,
here for it.
I had to make a little
Wager.
little friendly ways. Somebody wear a jersey, whatever, whatever.
Okay, let's get there first.
Yeah, for sure, whatever. Yeah, definitely check out the NBA games. Like I said, some few college games on tonight too. But yeah, we'll be back Tuesday. Our regular day. Sorry for last week. That's why we made it up to y'all for the day yesterday and today with back-to-back shows.
Hmm.
What I'm about to say, make sure y'all trade, talk Ravens all day, every day. Bring your host Justin P. And my MVP $1 billion co-host with Shannon Finch. Like I said, hopefully every day pans up. What day could be back on hand next Thursday. Yeah, have be the three musketeers again, or the three Raven tears, how you want to call it. We love y'all, and we'll see y'all on Tuesday.
Bye, Justin.
Shannon.